Teenager, I think, is much more interesting.
Half my luck for an actor to be able to have those moments of playing a priest and a violent lunatic at the same time, and being crazy, and going straight back to sane, and being a plant, and being, you know, all of these things, and being a political activist. It's a dream role. You know, obviously the hours are overwhelming, you know, and it's a long haul. It's very, 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 very difficult. But aside from the mechanical difficulties and being exhausted and stuff like that, if you just look at what we have to play with in our characters, especially the Zan character, it's amazing. I would not even in 12 lifetimes have an opportunity to play such a complexity, I think, such a diversity of things within one character, because there is no human like Zan. Well, she's not human, she's an alien. So there isn't a human that is capable of all the things that she's capable of, and I don't know that there's any other character ever, anywhere in any science fiction who is as complex. I wanted to say thank you very much to the Jim Henson Company, as well as Creation and Sci-Fi Channel, and David Kemper and Rockney and Brian for inventing me and inventing Farscape. And it's been the most extraordinary time of my whole life, and I feel I've developed as an actor. I'm untrained, as you know, so every day is a learning curve, and I'm working with such fine actors, and they're very highly skilled people who are very generous and very, very loving, so it makes it a very special time for all of us to participate in Farscape. We love it dearly. It's, you know, it's kind of like a calling. We feel I think all of the actors that work on Farscape are very dedicated people, and so it's more of a calling than a job, and it really is almost a life choice. And especially, I guess those actors in prosthetic makeup are especially dedicated, Anthony and Gigi, and I guess myself too. But we dearly love it. But you know something, we really wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you guys. And so we, as a whole cast and entire production, are your greatest fans. We really are. We love you dearly. Thank you. It's actually kind of distracting to look in the mirror in the first couple of episodes, because I thought, whoa, who is that? You know, and so all I could do was it was better for me to ignore the character. I had heard of it because I hadn't ever been in prosthetic makeup at all. You know, I'd always done, you know, beauty work and makeup shots and things like that, so it was really bizarre to be covered, but not so covered. The funny thing was that I wasn't covered completely, so I wasn't recognisable. You can still see it's me, but yet there's just a veil of something else over me. You wanted to ask me a question, did you?
Well, I just wanted to say that you rock.
Oh! Thank you, darling. And she's sweet. Yeah. Can you stay up here for a little while with me? Keeping company? Okay. I always thought if I had another lifetime, and if I was born hundreds and hundreds of years ago, I probably would have wanted to be a priest, maybe. But so, not in this lifetime I didn't want to be a priest, but I've always had that feeling that it would sit nicely. But I wanted a normal life, but I also would love the idea of that, you know, spiritual closeness. So when Zan came into my life, it was like the most extraordinary gift. But the craziest thing is, and I guess this is also one of the most amazing things that ever happened to me through Zan, is that none of the writers or producers or anyone, I mean, almost to this day, they don't know that I really am an intensely, spiritual being. Oh, I'm human, fraught with flaws like everyone else. I'm not perfect by any means. I think people who are less perfect than others are ones who are always searching for balance, you know, and I'm constantly on that curve. But it was a real gift, yeah, to be spiritual and play a priest. I mean, how amazing for an actor, you know.
Where do I start? Let's see. I was living in Sydney for about 6 months. I just graduated from university, and I was living with 5 kids in a 3-bedroom house and having a stable diet of jasmine rice, and that was sort of all we could afford. Soya sauce when we had the luxury of it, and I was getting worried that I hadn't had a job for a while. I'd done a few guesties on different shows, more Australian series, and then I found out about this role, and she was an alien. And my mother is very open-minded. She runs she's a naturopath, and she runs a health farm, and I rang her up about it. She goes, oh, I got a good feeling about this, Sheesh, you know. I just feel like it really could be yours because you've grown up with aliens your whole life. Like this, and went, oh, I have, Mum, you're right, you're right.
I tell you, I'm very lucky to be here today because David and Sue took me on an excursion to Tijuana. And do I need to say any more? And we almost had to do the broadcast live from the Tijuana border jail. I forgot my visa waiver. So I got to the coming across the border, and they said, no, ma'am, you cannot come back into the country, ma'am. And I said, oh, no, I have to. I'm doing this convention. It's very important. You know, it's a big thing for me. They said, no, ma'am, you're an illegal Australian alien, ma'am. I said, how'd you know? And then David did some fast talking, as David does. And then I'd say, good on you, David. No worries, mate. Yeah.
So it was amazing to come on and work with such a cast. I respect them to the nth degree, and I really think they're masters of the art. Everyone works with very different techniques, and that's intriguing to learn as well. Because, you know, there'll be most of the cast are pretty cool, and they'll talk about the shopping or the kids or whatever, and they'll go action, and the tears will come. And I'm sort of in the corner, okay, right, this is what we do, okay, where am I, who am I, what am I, you know. And they'll be teasing me from the side going, come on, G, oh, I'm trying to be professional here. They say, you're too young for that. Yeah, to play and fool around with those guys is fantastic. You get a lot of freedom on the set, you really do, and I have never worked on a set with so much essence of play, and I think that's really what makes the show come to life, you know, gives it its chemistry ultimately.
So originally she was a very sort of naturalistic character, and then when we went in for the first makeup test, which was 5.5 hours long, I was there like an hour into it going, oh, this is amazing. And they're going, sit still, dear, we've got a way to go. Right? And you know, when I realised there was so much time and energy going into the look, I realised that we had room to play.
It's very funny to try and assume where your character's going or going to end up, because you really have no idea with these guys. Just as you think you're getting an idea of their emotional journey and you know, how it's all evolving, they'll put this weird twist in it, such as the Dago and Chiara relationship. So it was fun, and we had mucked around a lot, Ant and I think it's a very aesthetically intriguing thing to watch, these two sort of aliens at work, shall we say, or play. But you can never assume, and you know, David can give you a really rough outline of what's coming up and what you're in for, and it'll change a million times, so sometimes it's best not to know at all.